Hey everyone, great to have you live with us tonight for Gap Network show number 3. It wasn't exactly, Larry, the way we wanted it to be. Tonight we really wanted it to be at our studio, our Fusion Creative Studio, but with our lockdown and with the different things that are happening over the days ahead of us, it's a great opportunity to go online live and to have a chat with everyone about some stuff that we're doing with mentoring programs for youth, people in transition. And you've got some great things to share with us tonight, which will be great. So really looking forward to having you join. Well, first of all, thank you for joining me tonight in doing what we're doing. But Larry, tell me what's been happening in your world. Tell us a little bit about what's going on in and around Larry's life.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, you always do this to me, don't you?
I do. I like it.
About how good is this? The show must go on.
That's it. Yeah, the show must go on. Come on.
The show must go on.
That's it.
I'm just having a wonderful, wonderful life. And I don't say that as flippantly because everyone has their challenges in life. We're putting up with the COVID situation we have. But we're being blessed daily. I'm enjoying more my wife. My wife retired just recently, and so spending time with my wife, doing the things that we've not put off over the years, always been on that list to do, that to-do list. We're enjoying that.
So it begins.
So it begins, and it begins with us tonight, particularly around people's lives. We're starting out at the beginning. With what we want to do and help people, and that's what I believe I was put on this planet to do. Love on people, help people, do whatever I could to help them. And I believe, Sandy, you're the same. I've known you for a long, long time, but you're the same. We just care about people. We love people. We want to give to people, and that's what we do as Gap Coaching. And you can explain more about what Gap Coaching does, because we fill the gaps in so many areas, don't we?
Yeah, that's exactly right, and it's exciting to be talking about some things where we actually want to be filling gaps, particularly tonight in those that young folks that need direction in where they're headed. And we're going to be talking about some of those topics tonight, about some of the things that actually help with that process. But beyond that, the gaps in people's businesses as well. As you said, we're filling people's gaps and bridging those gaps in people's world. Our clients that we've been dealing with. And we are dealing with even right now. And we're filling gaps in certain areas where they would just need that help, And so very thankful for the opportunity that there is to be able to do that and to help people in as great a way as we possibly can. But tonight, we're going to dig into some stuff that really is something that we really want to launch out into in faith, in that sense. We're actually stepping out in faith to get as much of what we can with our mentoring program for youth. And as I mentioned earlier, for those in transition, we want to get into their lives. But as we are doing that, we actually want to talk about some of those things that are actually on the list of that. But before we dig into that, you had an opportunity recently, and I want you to start sharing with us a little bit about where a chap that you contacted, I think it was through Instagram from memory, actually connected with you and has actually, you had written some great mentoring things under the banner of Mentor Me some time back. And there's some great subjects and some great things to actually teach into people's lives, which you did in your local church, but also you've done it with other people. And we've used many of those things within the context of Gap Coaching as well. But just tell us a little bit about the story of how you met with this chap Moses and what's happening now with their children, and explain, show us some photos and whatnot, but explain what they're actually learning. So go ahead and talk to us about that, Larry.
Yeah. Oh, thanks, Sandy. Well, Instagram, when you have connections with people, every day, I don't know if you're aware of it, Sandy and I put up messages on a regular basis, and one of those is Gap Coaching and Mentor Messages. We put a post up every day on Facebook through different groups, but also on Instagram. And this man's just started following me, and I followed him back, and then asked me what did I do, and I told him mentor young people, but also teach, coach, mentor adults, businesses, corporates, all that type of stuff, with training, etc., etc. So anyway, we just exchange words now and then, and I just said, think I mentioned to you, Sandy, I think we should just talk to this young man and see if he's open to us sending some information on.
Sure.
So what we actually did, we actually gifted him our mentoring program. Now, you got to understand that, what we want to do. Sandy and I just said to you earlier, we love giving to people. We love interaction with people. So, we love sharing our knowledge, not being selfish about it. Yes. We want to share knowledge with others. So that's what we do. So we're actually currently gifting the mentoring program. It's called the Farah Kids Foundation. It's in Uganda.
Wow, Uganda. That's amazing.
It's in East Africa. It's in the province. I've got to look at it. It's Iganga. Inanga.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Now Moses Mushi is wonderful, wonderful name, and he's teaching the program, and he has 38 students that he's
wow.
Teaching. And they range from the age of 4 to 18.
Right.
Now,
wow.
So when you think a young man, he's in his early 20s, right?
Yeah. Wow.
What he do and what they do is they actually provide education for the homeless and those that are, trying to find shelter for their family. And they have a mission to create lasting solutions to poverty, hunger, and social injustice. And that's something that everybody has, if they've got a heart, would feel for others, as we do.
Totally. Yes, and absolutely.
That's why we wanted to gift this to him and the organisation. Now, there's 12 subjects covered in the. We're going to call it unique because it is unique. I could go into the story; it would take too long. How it's uniquely downloaded to me, but the program, it comes along with videos and worksheets, right? So you imagine you've got this young man in a, let's say, not third world, but challenging situations. Let's put it this way.
Yeah, so absolutely. I
will show you a bit of an idea. There's a couple of. We'll get it the right way.
There you go. No, you got it. You got it. That's good. Okay. Perfect.
Right, let's just go across here. There's a couple of the kids that are in class.
Yes.
And normally sends them to me on their lunch break when he sends me a photo of what they're doing and how they're doing it. All right.
Yes.
Just lovely young kids just want to learn. And learn
fantastic.
I'll cover the subjects with you that when I see them, they're young, they're just they're just beautiful young kids. Just lovely.
Yeah.
To me, when I was young and I was searching, I was like a sponge, and they just look at and some of the photos, they look where they're looking over there, and they might be looking at someone else, but they're getting this information that's shared to them. And there's, sorry about the head, but that's Moses.
There he is.
A shot of him, but that's a photo of Moses.
Half a head Moses.
Yeah. And he's teaching these young kids from 4. I mean, imagine that. You've got from 4 to 18 in your class. Now, most people wouldn't do that ever. Now, I have 4 and 5-year-olds, or I might go up to 4 to 6. I'm not going any higher than that. And he just writes. And because that spectrum that he is, I'll give you a bit of an idea, because I'll give you what's being taught by Moses that's in part of the course, all right?
Yeah, go for it.
Now, I'll spell it out to you. There's 12 subjects. First one's balance, and balance is life is about balance, health, family, recreation, faith, work, and finance. They're the subjects that you look at a balance in your own life. And we share this. Anytime we're sharing this to younger people, this can also go for adults. And we have many more
across the board. Absolutely.
Yeah, we have many more courses that we do gap coaching, because we want to fill the gaps in people's lives. And this is a gap that we're finding in this particular area, but there's so many gaps in other areas, in businesses, in corporates, and also those personal lives, whether you're a mature age adult or a young adult. So balance always will come and play. The other one's listen. We don't mature through age, but we mature through awareness. Listen. That's just a little bit of the things that the subjects that they do. You got to remember, when they're doing these subjects, they've got videos, they've got worksheets that go along with it. And they've actually got notes on what they've learnt. And they give them back to the teacher. So the teacher can then ask them questions about how they are, because you can then relate to the age group, and you get to that one-on-one, as opposed to that massive group. You don't know who's absorbing it, who's getting it, who's not getting it. This is a beauty of what you do. The other one is to set your mind. All right, set your mind is like love yourself, respect yourself, never sell yourself short.
Mm-hmm.
Another one's faith. Worry looks around, respect yourself, never sell yourself short. And when you're setting your mind, you know, all these things that say the basics that we may know deep, but he's teaching this to young kids.
Wow. Absolutely. Right? Yes, that's right. Yep.
Faith. Worry looks around, regret looks back. Faith looks forward. And it's just so there's so much that's added to that. Remember, we're just giving you a small synopsis, really, of what he's teaching and what we put out there to share with people. All right,
that's right.
Awareness. No matter how many mistakes you have made or how slow your progress, you are still ahead of everyone else who isn't trying. Just think about that for a minute.
Yeah. These are great subjects too, Larry, for kids. I mean, there'll be a lot of practicality that they'll be able to bring to the table there with this chap Moses and of course all the kids. And I think for me, what I'm looking forward to as well, and I'll let you continue in a moment, but what I'm looking forward to as well is just the results of these things that'll come out with the kids. I'm looking forward to just hearing about how it's and literally will be changing their lives. I'm absolutely positive of that.
Yeah, and sometimes when you look, and when I use that word third world, not flippantly, but also just think of someone that's may not be in the same position you are, but you can share information with them, and then they're not tied up with the hustle and bustle of our wonderful Western world and our culture and what we do, how we do it, when we do it, and we're pushed with all this things that are around us to be better than everybody else and make more than anybody else, and they're just more side of things. So we tailor-made this for them. So it's simple in its content, but it's powerful overall what they can learn. And that's where our heart is. I know Sandy and I have known each other a long, long time. I know that's his heart, and that's what my heart is, and that we want to just give our heart to others out there about it. So choice, if you want a different result, make a different choice. And it's simple to us, but to others that may not know about it, particularly young adults, young kids. Words, be careful of your words. Once they are said, they can only be forgiven, not forgotten. And tell you what, how many times have we done that, Sandy, and anybody else that's watching will go, well, if I hadn't said that, you're going to look back. Goal setting, obviously, is going to come in there. It's committing your goals to paper, dramatically increases the likelihood of you achieving them. Abundance, true abundance is not based on your net worth. It's based on our self-worth. That's what we're thinking about. Honor and integrity, the quality of knowing what is morally right. Just think about that. The quality of knowing what is morally right. Trust, the firm belief in the reliability, truth or ability of someone or something. And I only got 2 to go. And don't give up. Man.
It's very, very important, that one.
Make a habit of not giving up, no matter how bad the conditions around you and your mind. Because some people can give up in their mind before they give up in the circumstances around them.
Yes.
And the last one, the habits. Motivation is what gets you started, and habits keep going. Now, I'll finish off with this. Look, we are filling the gaps in people's lives. That's people's lives in your suburb, your state, your country, and your nation. And we're doing it one person at a time and one nation at a time.
Yeah, that's right.
That's what I'm going to say, Sandy, and I'm back to you.
Yeah, no, that's terrific, mate. And you know what? I'm just so excited that we've actually got that into a place like Uganda. There are other opportunities that will open to us and have opened to us, and we will do so more into places like India and South Africa, where we can actually get that in for free, and we want to get that in there. Just be a blessing. We would love people to partner with us in that. We're doing this just as a step of faith, to step out there and say, look, this is the stuff we're going to do, because at the end of the day, people in our other nations, and of course this applies in our nation. And I want to run through some stuff tonight that we already have here. There are some aspects of what you've talked about there that are inclusive in this, but we have a 12-month program for people in Australia that we've actually set up. That's for, the one that you've done there is for, I guess, for anywhere, but this one specifically because we actually did the research in Australia and what people needed, who were apprentices, trainees, young people sort of coming through in internships and various other things, or as I said earlier, in transition periods in their lives, all that kind of stuff. We've actually set it up to do that for them. And so we're going to run through some of that in just a few moments, but let's just say that, let me just say again that we want people to be involved with us. The Gap Network show is going to be about bridging those gaps in people's lives and bridging the gaps in businesses, bridging the gaps in various other places. As we're able to finally get together again on the 20th of July, because that's the next,
happy days.
The 20th of July will be the next time we actually get together, hopefully, with all this sort of stuff out of the way, all this mask wearing and lockdowns and all this kind of stuff. Once that's all sort of passed through, and we can get back into the ability to, meet face to face, which we're so looking forward to doing again. Man, we've had some fun doing that with people, just having a live connection with people, and it's been tremendous, really impacting some people. So really looking forward, for those of you that are watching tonight, the 20th of the 7th will be the night that we have our next at Fusion Creative. So, and that's when we'll be doing it. You can see there, www.gapcoaching.com.au/contact us is where you come to us, and we'll actually put you into the mix for the next get together, and we'd love to see you there. And we'd love to get together tonight. As I said, we would have been doing that there, but unfortunately, because of this situation, we've had to step that aside. But we thought we'd take the time tonight to talk about what you've just talked about, and what I'm about to share, and what we're about to talk together about is this mentoring program. So we called it the Coach Approach Business Mentoring Program, and it's for people in business, people who are learning how to, actually come into that. And the other name we named, I guess it was the Gap Assist program. So it's to actually, under the Gap Assist section of what we do for Gap Coaching, we want to assist people actually to become who they're meant to be, and take the lid off and all the rest of it. And so one of the first thing that we actually started looking at was the why of our life, the WHY, the why of our lives. There are lots of great people that I'm aware of, great people in terms of the world's leadership development, people that I know personally, all and have done, been successful in what they've done, and significant, mind you. In what they've done, no matter whether it's related to a for-profit or not-for-profit kind of, community-based or faith-based kind of situations. They have always, the people that do something significant always go for the why. It's finding your purpose in life that's so important.
Exactly.
I can't stress that enough. Many times I'll get on and talk about that. If you guys are watching tonight, have heard me before, more than likely you've heard me talk about purpose in our lives, and how we need to have that purpose, and how we need to have that passion for what we're doing. There's so many people out there that are just doing the doing for the doing's sake, that aren't really in there. They're in a job, just over broke, just to be there and do something every day that they always do. And it's just not the way to live. It's not the way to go. It's not the way to. It's a survival thing, Whereas really, what we need to be doing is thriving rather than surviving. And the thriving part of it has purpose attached to it. It has a purpose for being here. We also live in a world where a lot of people think, well, what's the point of anything like that? What's the point of doing anything, moving forward, or doing stuff that we're doing? What is the point, seeing we're just kind of stuck here on this earth anyway, and with a concept of that there is actually no real why at all, but yet the people that matter in this world, the people that have been successful in this world, are the ones who grab onto that purpose, who latch onto it, who latch onto what it is to be purposeful, what it is to be strong, and purposeful in the way that they go about doing their life. And so our why is something that is just so valuable, and we teach on that. We talk about that and discovering that. We've got a whole heap of ways to do that. But let me just say, first of all, get your passion in order. You know, find out what it is. Find out what it is that you're passionate about, that you really enjoy. And by the way, don't give me the usual story that people give me, which is I'm passionate about sitting and binging, Netflix or something like that. That's not what I'm talking about. And I think that's not what we're talking about. But the reality is that a lot of people that is what they end up doing, rather than having a purpose to get up in the morning and say, this is why I got up today. Again, it's that whole scenario of perspective and attitude, which is, it's good morning, Lord, or good Lord, it's morning. So there's a total difference in attitude there. But the difference in attitude is brought about by the fact that we know why we're doing what we're doing. We know that we're actually purposeful in what we're doing. So that's the first one on the list of stuff. So what I'm trying to say is, as we go through this, and as Larry has gone through the stuff before, and some of his subjects, obviously we crossed over with subjects because they're just subjects that we all kind of connect with, that everyone connects with, and everything else. But as we've brought this together into this 12-month personal development kind of course, we found that these were subjects that would make a huge difference in people's lives. What next is the next on the list? What next for our life? Where do we head with our careers? Where do we head with our life paths? What's the pathway that we need to go down? So once you know your purpose, you can actually start to work on, okay, the pathway I need to head down is this way or that way, whatever it is. And those things actually help us to understand where we need to go, next time. So that's really important. How, is the next one. How do we do business? How do we develop ourselves? How do we develop our leadership skills? The how-tos of life are really important. Maybe you'd like to just jump in there for a few seconds, Larry, as I get you ready for that. But just some of the how-tos of life. For example, how do I do something as simple as a resume? How do I approach a person who I want to get a job from? How do I actually sit in an interview? How do I conduct myself in an interview? How do I, in my life, develop things that actually make me better than who I am? How do I become better at what I do? So what would you throw in there?
Exactly what you just said. the how-tos. See, it's very difficult for some people to understand that you've got to be thinking more about what you can give out as opposed to what you can get back. Okay,
right. So that's a difference in attitude there. Yep, difference in perspective there.
How to be a better person.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, it's just I'll just stay on that for a minute. Okay, how to be a better person. Or you just think you're absolutely the bee's knees. There's nothing wrong. You don't have to do anything different. You, the three of you, me, myself, and I, are fantastic. Well, that is selfishness in a nutshell. You got to look outside of yourself, of how to help somebody in need, how to help your spouse, how to be a better father, how to be a better friend. There's things you can look at your business. How can I be a better salesperson? You got to look at the time and the intent that you have behind the how-to. That's where it comes. If it's a selfish intent, you're not going. I strongly believe there might be a very, very small percentage of people that I've ever met that have ever moved from there to, say, success. It's success of how to climb the ladder higher than the next person by treading on their feet when they try and get up the ladder.
Yeah, right. Yes.
I'm not going on too long about it, but that's just my point on it.
Yeah, no, that's really good. Let's move on a little bit. Some of the other subjects that we've got here, like I created a thing that is a bit of a download for me, a bit like you were saying before about the downloads. It was a bit of download for me in terms of the word work. And the thing about it is the word work is I've actually divided up into, as you know, Larry, we divided it up into an acronym, WORK. And the W means to will, my desire to actually step up into things. When we set our will in place to actually make the choice, as you mentioned choices earlier, when we set our choices in the right place and we have our attitude in order as far as how we will go forward, then it opens up opportunities. So we open our heart and we open up opportunities. That's the O.
Yeah.
And then the R is how we get rewarded from that. And then the K is basically, it's not kitchen, by the way. The K is for knowledge, and the K is for really kicking goals.
Yeah.
And so we actually create, and there's we do a whole teaching around that, around what it is to actually that WORK. And it, I've seen it, and you've seen it as well with me, how that changes people's perspectives on life, how it changes, the light bulb goes on, and they start to see things completely differently. Just a week or so ago, I did this with a group of people in a boardroom, and it actually changed a lot of what they were thinking about. And it started to give them something more to focus on, and better to focus on, to actually see life and business life, for that matter, in a very, very different kind of way of doing things. Whereas oftentimes with work, we just kind of get this, we get this kind of thing about, it's a terrible, I've got to go to work, kind of thing, and it becomes a drudgery. And the moment we do that, we actually shut off the opportunity to actually become who we're meant to become, do the things we're meant to do as well. It just shuts down everything. Shuts down our positive thinking, shuts down our creative thinking as well. Because at the end of the day, we need to be able to think better and do things better in terms of thinking. Talking of which, there's another subject that we're talking about, which is, what are you thinking? That's the actual heading of it all. What are you thinking? Which relates to our mindset. What would you jump in there on and talking about mindset and how we actually see things in our mind and stuff?
A lot of times it's from a biblical perspective. As a man thinketh, so is he.
Yep.
Without a vision, man will perish.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be able to have that in your mind. You're thinking of, once again, away from yourself, having a dream or a vision of where you want to be, what you want to do, who you want to help, what you want to do. And it's like having a plan in place before you.
Yeah, that's right.
Just waiting for the day to happen. Oh, I wonder what's going to happen today.
Yeah.
I'll go back to the work one for a minute, if I can, just digress, because what you'll end up doing if you don't have that is to go back to the work, which is home to work home, home to work home, home to work home, home to work home, home to work home. You get yourself into a rut. And I've been saying about when you get yourself in a rut, it's like a grave with the end out.
End's knocked out. That's right. Yeah.
You understand that without that vision, you can so regress. You're no good to yourself or anybody else, because you become back in internalizing stuff instead of seeing outside of the box.
That's right. That's right. Let's jump back into that mindset again, because there is a positive mindset that we need to live by. And you're right. It relates back to the attitude to our work and to the way we go about doing things. But it's not just positive for positive's sake. It's not just affirmation for affirmation's sake. It's just not doing something because it seems like, okay, that may be the magic wand to make everything happen, and it's not like that at all. It's actually a daily, actually something we said the other day was we're going from a daily grind to a daily grow, which I think is a really powerful statement just on its own, going from a daily grind to a daily grow. And in thinking about that, that's actually how we need to think. This is how we need to move forward. It's how we need to actually become who we're meant to become. And so it's such a powerful thing to say that and to live that. When we live that, when our minds are set on what it is that we want to do and our focus and where our future is and where we want to go, something else I wrote down, we'll talk more about it, I guess, when we look into goal setting in a few moments as well, which you touched on earlier, but we starting with the end in mind means that, but literally that we have something in our mind that says, this is where it's going to be. It's going to be this at this end of it, but I'm working my way backwards from there. and working my way backwards, I'm actually going to see things and do things differently. It's going to be totally different, the way I see and do things. So what we're thinking, the better mindset, that's huge. One of the things also is understanding our personality is another subject that we look at.
Yeah, great subject.
You know, I think probably sometimes we can box ourselves in as far as personality tests and things like that go. I mean, people can kind of can feel boxed in by that. People can feel like they're trapped. Okay, well, if that's my personality, that's the only way I can ever live.
Yeah, that's right.
And there's no room in that boxing in. There's no room in that place of being boxed in for the ability to actually move forward and learn things and grow in things. Whereas I look at my life and personalities I took in my 20s to when I'm now in my a few years older, a couple of years on. But when I was doing when I was doing that to now, I have a totally different. In doing it honestly and doing it, you know, as genuinely as I can, I found myself to be a completely different person in many areas, areas of leadership, areas of other things. So we can definitely learn in that. But what's good about a personality test is that it actually gives us an understanding of the people we work with, the colleagues that we're with, the colleagues that we come in contact with, you know, on a regular basis, those we go to, say, school with, or those we go to university with, or those that we connect with on a weekly basis in a community connection thing, a faith-based organization like a church setting or whatever it may be, like that kind of a thing. So whatever the case may be, there are those things that we deal with. And so personality is extremely important to understand about ourselves, and it just helps us to understand others as well and to be more patient with other people and to understand that, okay, that's the way Larry is, that's the way George is, whoever, whatever. And that actually helps us to understand those people much better, doesn't it?
Well, you do if you have that understanding. You're taking more away about me, myself, and I, the three I talked about earlier.
Yeah.
And you're understanding other people and whether they have a whatever test they have. It's learning what the strengths and some people say the weaknesses is. If you're strong in an area, a weakness is I look at improving in another area.
Yep, sure. Or a challenging place in your life. Yeah.
What you have to be doing is improving in those areas.
Yes.
It's not going to change from the strength you have here, but that strength you can share with others. And let's say that they use it, unfortunately, use a weakness, right? They use that, not me, but I call that as my challenge, is to increase in that area so I don't have, at this particular time, the understanding or the knowledge to do it. And you and I had to understand this with what's transpired 12 to 18 months.
That's very true. Yeah.
We've been very laxed or unable to or weak in, have now built up to kind of a bit of a strength and a bit of knowledge about.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly right. No, it's very, very true. Let me just quickly move on. We'll run over a couple of the other ones just as we kind of wrap it up for tonight. We won't stay long online tonight, but just wanted to share some things with you. Those of you watching this afterwards, if you've got the details running across the screen there, if you want to help us to bring this program to youth and those in transition across our nation or across other nations, as Larry explained earlier, you know, into Uganda, we're doing this. We stepped out in faith to actually do this, to do it so that people's lives can be changed right across this nation and beyond. Young people today desperately need youth, need help, need direction, need hope in what it is. Oftentimes they don't even realize they need hope. They don't even realize that hope's an option. And that's as far as they've got because they've grown up in a situation where they don't know what to do next. So giving that to actually just grab out that little picture again. If you can find that for me, Larry, if you haven't already got rid of it, just grab that little picture again of some of the kids that we're helping there already in Uganda. There we go. Just the other way. That's it. There's some of the. There we go. There's some of the kids that we're already helping over there. We've just given this program out to them.
Yep.
I mean, between 4 and 18, I think you said.
4 and 18. I couldn't do it. as a teacher.
It's amazing. Fantastic, isn't it?
Mate, put me with the same group of age that I would kind of talk to, but don't give me 4-year-olds.
That's it. That's it. That's right. That's exactly right. So, we're doing that already, and we've stepped out in faith, believing that God will bring us the opportunities to help as many people as we possibly can. We just would love you to partner with us. If you want to do that, you can contact us, and we'd love to tell you more about it, to help you with all that kind of stuff. It's a great way to be a blessing right across our nation and right across our world. We talked a little bit about what are we thinking. Communication skills, like each of these subjects are huge on their own. The way to communicate, there's anything from the level of in the morning, when you first wake up, to the level of what we call D&Ms, the deep and meaningfuls. Sorry,
I so laugh. It brings back so many. I won't hold you. I bought a guy this book, How to Win Friends or Influence People, because he was just like that. And I actually gift wrapped it and put it on his desk. And this was a sales trip.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
So it's true, Sandy. Because some people do you want to mix with them? Do you?
That's right. Yeah,
here's my friend, Grunt.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Oh my gosh. But anyway, it's true. And so we've got to come, as far as, like you're talking about a sales rep, that's not great for a sales rep. But, there's so many people in life who don't know how to communicate. We mentioned earlier about things like going into that realm of the ability to talk to your employer or the ability to talk to a prospective employer, various things like that, just because oftentimes people have no idea how to do that. I was talking to someone just recently. I think it was at the Small Business Expo. For those of you that have been watching tonight or will watch this, that we're at the Small Business Expo. Hi, everyone. But the other week we were talking about this, and I think you were telling me, Larry, that was someone you were talking to about how they went into, they had to go into university to teach them how to actually treat a prospective employer, like to how to actually go in and do that. And this was in the middle of university. And they're at their last year, in fact. That's right. It was their last year of engineering. Maybe it wasn't you I was talking to, but nevertheless, it's a legitimate story. That the 4th year of engineering, and they had no clue as to how to deal with actually just talking to people and dealing with in a business-like manner, in a way that was courteous, in a way that was all of those things, but also just in a way that was efficient and effective and clear, like some clarity around what they were going to say. Had no clue on that. Communication skills are massive, and this is what we want to do to get across to people. Goal setting, you mentioned it earlier. I won't spend much time. You spent some time on that, but really setting up your future in terms of, again, starting with the end in mind. Where do I want to go? How do I need to get there? I need to take the right attitude with me. Note all the way through all these things that we're talking about, the why, what next, how do we go about certain things, changing perspective on work life, personality tests, how we're thinking, communication skills, leading to goal setting is just a huge area. And again, it's an area we could spend half an hour on its own. In fact, we could spend hours on setting up goals and showing people how to do that. I'll give you just one quick example of a young guy who I met in Sydney when I was doing this with apprentices. And he was a young guy who really was working with a company that was quite a large company. And his work that he was doing as an apprentice was very narrowed into the steel fixing sort of realm. And he was kind of, it was almost like, like the same cycle, the same thing every single day for this young guy. And so he was kind of, I guess in that sense, a little bit caught up in that world, And I spoke to him. I said to him, look, hey, it's important to set goals in your life. And we talked a bit about that. And in passing, I said to him, one of the things I use in my own home is, and I've got it right behind me here, obviously hidden behind the Gap coaching posters behind me, but I've got a board here that actually has a vision board. It has those things up. It's got some pictures up there. It's got some writing up there of the things that are our goals. And I mentioned that just in passing to him, a vision board. Anyway, I never got a chance to see him, unfortunately, for about 3 months. Normally it would be every 6 weeks or so that I'd managed to, but the next time I came through Sydney when I was there, I missed and I couldn't get to see him. So the 3 months later, finally, or thereabouts, I finally get to see this young guy. And as it was a very busy day. There was cranes coming in and all sorts of stuff happening, And I eventually got to sit down with him. And as I sat down with him, I said, "Hey, how you doing?" It doesn't matter his name, but how you doing, so and so? And he said, "Oh, I'm doing really well." I said, "Look, how are the things going? We talked last time when we got together about a bit about goal setting." He said, "Oh, yeah." He said, I got one of those vision boards things that you talked about. I actually went and bought myself a whiteboard and put it up there for me and my partner. And, we actually set it all up." And he said, 3 months, like in these last 3 months, he said the first set of goals that we had, we've already set them. And now we're having to rub them out and start all over again. Because he had just, the light bulb had gone on. He realized how important it was for him to get ahead and do things that would bring he and his I guess soon to be wife, ahead of the game. And so it was incredible to see how that light bulb went on. And this is the kind of stuff, mind you, that we want to see in so many other young people's lives, including those pictures you just showed earlier with those young children and some young adults that are there being taught by this chap Moses in Uganda, which is just phenomenal. So we want to continue to do that. As we say on the screen there, we've been diving tonight into our mentoring program, and we want to actually share this for free across lots and lots of people's lives, and we'd love you to get involved with us in that. Just contact us. We'd love you to get involved, and even if you know people that need this, we're happy to get it to them. Please let us know.
Absolutely.
I'm totally happy to get it to them. We can do it via email. We have a few other things, ways of doing it, but certainly with the video and worksheet and the way we're doing this, these subjects are covered, and some of them with videos of things like what we're talking about. We're doing it on video there as well.
Yeah.
Last couple of things: financial management, budgeting. Oh my gosh! Again, a massive subject.
Budgeting is a good word.
It's a great word. It's a great word because ultimately the budget of our finances brings us freedom. It brings us freedom because, like as we budget here at home for my wife and I, and what we do, because we're self-employed, because we're doing what we do, because what we're doing is a self-employment situation. Yep. We have to set aside funds for various things, including taxation, whatever else. Just recently we had to do that, but you know what? Because we'd budgeted, and my wife is fantastic at that. Because she had put aside stuff. We were able to we had the money there, and it wasn't a big surprise. It wasn't a big issue. Sure. It was like, hey, we've done it. We've been able to do it. All set, done, And it wasn't like, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? Because a lot of people get into a panic over finances because they've not actually set finances aside. So it's a huge area, isn't it, Larry?
Yeah, well, I'd encourage anybody, just go to our YouTube channel.
Yep.
And go through the videos. You'll find it there.
Yeah, we have got a whole 15, 20 minute video on there. Yeah.
And it's simplistic. Remember, we're not saying we know everything about the financial world, but these are simple steps that can anybody at any age, I believe, once they get hold of it and understand it. So I encourage you, just go to our YouTube page, and you will find it there.
That's right, you will, and that's a very good point. We've got quite a number of videos up there, and under the name of Sandy Ritchie. If you just go in there and search Sandy Ritchie, and in fact, we're going live to YouTube right now as we speak, so that's where we are as well. With just very quickly on that, just on financial management, if you're a business and you're watching this as well, we can help you with looking at your cash flow. I mean, there's a lot of other products and things that we actually bring to the table as a business as well that actually help you along beyond this. Now, tonight we're really talking about how we want to bless, how we want to help the youth of our generation. But if you're a business and you're watching this now, there's so much that we can help you with there in terms of our products and services, and that in itself helps us to do what we do. The fact that the more products and services that we're able to get into your hands and that you can actually invest in, the more we can invest in right across our nation and beyond, as we're starting to do more and more. We talked about connections in business, how to network in business. All those kinds of things are great. We've got some great stuff. We've got great people around us as well, including Larry, who's great at marketing. But we have digital marketing people. We have so many connections with people that are willing to help with website. In fact, one of the things we did at the Small Business Expo, I'm more than happy to offer that here as well. I know for a fact would be that we can help you with website SEOs and various other things to actually help you get that information out there through some great people like Damien, who has digital marketing services, and other people that we know that are in that realm. But certainly Damien is very much a partner with us in how we go about doing things. Damien Torti is a great help with all that. You mentioned work and life balance. I won't go into any more of that, but the question is tonight, are you out of whack with your balance? Is you trying to do too much and too, is there so much going on? We've really got to be aware of that. Really got to aware not to get out of whack. And then finally, where to next? That's the last of our 12 subjects that we're covering in this nation of Australia, particularly around youth and young adults. Some of the ones that Larry has forwarded on to overseas are a little different because they probably work to some degree in a schooling situation as well. Like some of the ones that are specifically around that. And some of them are also, we cover other things within the life of these 12 subjects that are inclusive in those 12 that you mentioned earlier as well. So we want to actually get that into the hands of as many people as we possibly can. So if you're watching tonight, we're about to finish in a few moments. As far as where to next for us, we actually want to create a future for you. We want to help you create a future. We want to actually help you create the future you need to get involved in. And so for us, as what we do with Gap Coaching and how we help people, we actually want to do as much as we possibly can to help you with all the things that are going on in your world for sure. So just thank you for joining with us today. Our next live meeting will be, all things being equal, will be the 20th of the 7th, and that will be at Fusion Creative. And we do have a guest speaker for that. Andrew Stone is an amazing communicator, an incredible guy in terms in and around great business strategy. He has so much experience involved in the not-for-profit and for-profit areas as far as what he does, community-based space and faith-based space as well. So what an incredible speaker Andrew is, as you know, Larry, and has just the ability to just bring things across in such a powerful way, and is so up to the mark on trend of what's going on in the business world today. He's going to be with us on the 20th of 7th, so just actually can't wait to have him there for that. It's just we're nearly at the end of June now. For those of you that are, and by the way, for those of you that it's being the end of the financial year, if you wanted to get hold of some of our services or pay for or do some of those kinds of things, and be involved with, getting some of the stuff that we're doing into the lives of young people, and you wanted to partner with us in that, in our company, it's a great way for you to be able to, depending on your own taxation situation, of course, but it's a great way for you to be able to get that professional development that actually helps you with your taxation requirements and things as well. So it's a great way to do that. Again, you've got to talk to your own, taxation situation, like your own accountants and so forth. But in many cases, the way that we go about doing things professional development wise, it really opens up for you the ability to claim certain deductions if you're able to do that under your business and under your situation. Everyone's situation is different, but it's certainly from that perspective, I know in my case where I've been able to do that previously, there have been situations when I've been able to claim that. So, and I'm sure you have, Larry, as well in the past at different times for different things like, that, and uniforms and various other stuff that, you can claim for to some degree, depending on your situation. But so we'd love you to get involved in that and be able to help you with that as much as we possibly can. So really, that's us for tonight. Really, there's so much that we've covered there tonight. There's so many subjects in there. If you have a particular subject you want to get involved with as far as we want to talk about that, or you want to help us get that 12-month program out to young people, we believe that the Gap Assist program is one of the best opportunities that you can have to really get that in the hands of young people. And those people that are really in a transition, from one thing to another, where they need to do that, this is we can do this over 1 year. Actually, I suppose we could do it in a shorter period of time. But at the end of the day, it's a 1 year program because we'd like to get people moving forward in that way, using the stuff that they've got. Last words, Larry.
A few last words. Any information if you're interested in knowing anything more, just if you want to email Sandy at
Yep, that's just right.
Email Sandy for any, and also if you're going to be part of our next Gap coaching show.
Yes.
You better email Sandy and book a seat. Because
you can see that there down the bottom. You can see the contact us.
Yeah,
that'll actually send it to sandy@gapcoaching.com.au. So as it comes across the screen there, www.com/contact us, that will actually get information to us.
Yes, that's it.
So do that. But we would love to have you at the next one that we got.
Absolutely.
We'll make sure that this video we'll save this and we'll actually edit it and we'll actually get it up and show it over the next few weeks, quite a bits and pieces of it. As we go across, and you'll be able to get involved. But thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you, Larry, for getting on board with me tonight, mate. Have a fantastic night, everyone. For those who've been watching across this, those who are watching this later, have a wonderful day. If those of you that are in lockdown, look up. It's going to be good. There are good things. There are good things ahead of all of us, no matter what the circumstances may be. No matter what the challenges may be.
Andy.
What's that? Sorry.
Be the one that makes a difference.
That's right. Be the one that makes a difference. What a great way to finish. All right, everyone. God bless, and have yourself a wonderful evening. And we look forward to chatting with you. Any questions you may have, any need for our stuff that you need, please get in contact with us via that details there, or PM us through one of the Facebook or even YouTube comments, and we're more than happy to catch up with you. All right. Bye for now, everyone. Bye. See you, Larry.
See you, mate.
See you. Bye for now.